Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim, Second Legacy. You are amazing. Oh, do we have some sweet, delicious goodness for you today? What would you guys do if me and Tim told you that the Sotomayor dissent that said ARs are in common use when she was throwing her temper tantrum around bump stocks was so effective that the gun controlling attorneys general are already having to defend that point and reinterpret what she said to further defend gun control? Guys, this is so gold. You're going to love every second of it. Sarcasm and humor deployed on point directly over the target like a laser-guided bunker. Laser. Hold on, Tim. I got this. Laser-guided bunker buster. There we go.
Yeah.
And,
I got one for you.
Like and subscribe, guys. That'd be great. Let's get it.
I got one for you. I slid a sheet, I slid upon a slitted sheet I sit. Can you say that for me, please?
Nope.
Okay. Because that would
I already yield.
That will get us banned. All right. So, this is a great story because we called this out when we first read the decision.
Absolutely.
We were like, "Oh no, she didn't." Oh,
yes,
no, she didn't. And then we go and have that.
She did.
It's like, and there's been these decisions like in other states where they're talking about what constitutes common use, and what was that low number we got out of some
200,000.
200,000 stun guns. Yeah. It's like, well, those are common use, 200,000. Well, how about 200 million?
Yeah, how about that? We see your 200,000 and we raise you about 100-fold.
Yeah.
So about that. But it turns out, Tim, that as always, and this is so poetically beautiful, and if you guys cover this and follow this as tightly as we do, you're going to love this too, because the first states that get really smacked when they come down with new gun control ordinances and as much manipulation as they can are the blue states, right? Behind the blue bastion, the blue wall, right? But when things go in our favor, like when they write really bad dissents from the liberal justices that are going to supplement our points, the blue bastions are also the first ones that get to use it. So that's what happening here. We have happening here. And FBC, I love these guys. They put out some stuff that caught my attention, and it turns out they're right over the target. I'm going to walk you through it right now, Tim. This is number 9. This is the original tweet that they dropped last night from, again, the New Jersey Attorney General, Matthew Platkin. So backstory on Matthew Platkin. He's the guy who's suing Glock. He's telling them to give all their information. He's the one that wants to do all the gun control under the sun. But anyway, he says that just because Justice Sotomayor called the guns that could be used bump stocks commonly available semi-automatic rifles, it doesn't mean she was talking about the kind of guns the state considers assault weapons. She didn't mean that, Tim.
No, of course not.
The other things. And the stuff in this letter, man, guys, this is so beautiful. I don't even want to set it up too much. Let's just dive right into it. So here's the Heller decision, Tim. This is an excerpt. So this highlighted part right here, part of number 10, the general rule of decision embraced in Heller is that arms in common use are protected by the Second Amendment and cannot be banned. That is the legal test and a Second Amendment challenge to an arms ban. So an arms ban in the Heller decision was a handgun ban, and in what we're talking about is AR bans. Okay,
yeah,
that's pretty good, solid footing. Well, I've got the letter for you. Dude, this is so beautiful. This is number 11. As you can see, we've got State of New Jersey letterhead. It's the Attorney General. We got all sorts of things going on. Only one little problem. They really don't like this. Sotomayor put this in her dissent. And here we go. I've got 3 reasons why they don't like it, and they're trying to explain it away. So first thing I'm going to bring up for you. On the June 14 letter, plaintiffs, this is regarding to another gun control lawsuit, reference to Justice Sotomayor's dissent in the Cargill case. So they're already bringing it up in court cases. But it doesn't help them. In that decision, Justice Sotomayor describes the catastrophic 2017 mass shooting in Las Vegas and mentions that the shooter, quote, affixed bump stocks to commonly available semi-automatic rifles. Plaintiffs claim that brief sentence reflects a stunning admission, it does, that recognizes the unassailable fact that semi-automatic firearms, the very arms banned by the laws at issue in the cases before this court, are in common use.
Yeah. Self-loading anything, handguns or rifles, are definitely in common use. Like tens of millions of them are sold annually. And they're going to say, well, hold on, folks. They're not really common use. We got to get into the trillions before we get into the common use territory.
Yeah. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah. It is so funny to watch them do this. But I think it's also funny with the first slide that you had shown where they're saying that, where they claim that well, they were talking about these guns that were used in Vegas and bump stocks. We're not talking about affixing them to assault weapons. That's not what we're talking about here. No. We put bump stocks on camp carbines, folks, and Ruger 1022s. Well, they didn't make them for 1022s, but it's just like, no, they're not putting them on SKSs, folks. It's like, it's most definitely the guns you classify as assault weapon.
You know what I love about you, Tim? You're like a bloodhound, man. You sniffed out the best part of this whole thing on the next page. I love when you do that. No, you're so over the target, dude. Because as we go through this, let me just lay out the reasons. They are threefold, and you talk about some political maneuvering in this language. Listen to this. This is the first reason. Again, Attorney General of New Jersey. Plaintiff's reliance on Justice Sotomayor's statement fails for multiple reasons. First, Cargill has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. Okay. I mean, not wrong on the point that it has nothing to do with the Second Amendment, because it was really about ATF overreach and the way about they kind of usurped the power of Congress, which is why the real reason that was so important. But it is interesting when all the marketing right after that was they wanted to open up machine guns for everybody. And then all of a sudden now in the Attorney General from New Jersey, it wasn't even about guns. Dumb. Interesting take, Matt. Interesting take. So that's the first one. I thought that was just dumb. This one is the coup de grace greatness followed by your favorite over the target. Okay, so second reason. Are you ready for the full second reason, Tim?
Yeah.
Justice Sotomayor's dissent in no way suggests that common availability is an appropriate test for Second Amendment protection.
No, that would be Heller.
Wait a minute. No, that's the Heller decision.
She just reaffirmed the definition of common use that Heller applied.
Wait a minute. Hold on. If you guys aren't paying attention to that, beautiful people of the Second Legacy, I'm going to read that again, and then I'm going to compare the Heller decision, the reason we wrote it first. Justice Sotomayor's dissent in no way suggests that common availability is an appropriate test for the Second Amendment protection. Okay. It literally says in number 10 that we just read from you, for an excerpt from the Heller decision, the general rule of decision embraced in Heller is that arms in common use are protected by the Second Amendment and cannot be banned. Okay, it is verbatim what he just said it's not. But she didn't mean that, Tim. She didn't mean it. No.
She didn't mean that at all. This is typical leftist strategies, right? Deny. It's just like all the news agencies out there now have taken the tact of Biden doesn't meander off stage. Biden doesn't poop his pants. Biden doesn't freeze up for no reason and stand there like Beavis and Butthead on stage when getting questioned by Cooper Anderson. No, that never had. Those are cheap fakes, not deep fakes.
Yes.
Cheap fakes, folks.
They are.
Don't believe your lying eyes. It's just, this is their common tactic. Just deny. Well, here's the evidence. Yep, doesn't exist.
Nope, doesn't exist. Heller decision doesn't exist.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Nope.
It's right there. Didn't happen. I mean, this is a common tactic, and this is the exact same style of I don't know, counter propaganda that has been used by dictators and regimes like the Soviet Union since written history began. Right. And they're doing it right in front of our faces, and you're just like, oh no, don't believe your lying eyes. Didn't happen.
No.
No.
It doesn't mean the dissent in any way suggests common availability is an appropriate test for the Second Amendment protection. And I'm like flipping through Heller, and I'm like, common use is the availability for Second Amendment protection. It says it.
This is really this is grinding my gears today. So I just threw another picture in our text, and this is an image of several of the firearms that were found in the Vegas hotel room. Now, if you take a look at those rifles laying on the floor there, those look like assault weapons to me.
Assault weapons.
I've been told my entire adult life those are assault weapons, but now they're not.
That's right, they're not. Jim, it's so funny you say that, and it's incredible. I love the way you sniff this out like a bloodhound, as I mentioned. The Enola Gay is over the target again. Well, here we go. This is the final reason. And finally, again, Attorney General of New Jersey. And finally, the dissent in Cargill speaks only to the common availability of semi-automatic rifles generally, not assault weapons, a subset of semi-automatic firearms that have enumerated in particularly dangerous features. Okay.
Yep.
So now you're going with the tact that Sotomayor, while she didn't mean it was common use, but what she did mean, because it wasn't common use. She meant semi-automatics in general, like, like you said, SKSs or, the SOCOMs or M1 Garands. That's what she meant, Tim.
Yeah.
Other gas-operated semi-automatic rifles, not the scary subset of the AR-15, because I'm pretty sure that over our adult lives, everything that went boom, boom, boom was a scary assault weapon.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, it's just a subset, Tim.
Yeah.
She didn't mean all of them.
Yeah, I mean, the bump stocks, they definitely were targeting, the non-assault weapons. They were never made for AR-15s or AKs or anything like that. I mean, it's not like there's millions of those in existence. I mean, that would make them common use, and clearly they're not.
No, clearly it's not common use.
I'm
glad you're following along. Yeah. She just misspoke. She mistyped, and she proofread it, and she put it out in an open dissent, which will be referenced forever. Yeah, Tim, I think the words that represent what happened is she done goofed, and now the lefties have to get out there and say this kind of stupidity. Common use is not the reason that Second Amendment can't be infringed. Heller decision. Common use is the reason the Second Amendment can't be infringed. Like, guys, you're doing it wrong.
It just any judge that's an actual impartial judge that applies the law as written and everything else and takes a look at this. If I were a judge, I'd be offended by this. I'd say, do you want to retract this document? Because this is a joke, and so are you. You're insulting the court with your stupidity here.
I'm offended. I am offended.
It's just the arguments. I mean, they're not even good. I mean, this is the best they can come up. It's like a bunch of 8-year-old kids trying to cover up their brand new puppy's poop in the living room. Like they're just running around aimlessly, like stuffing eating corners or whatever. Yeah, it's just they're like children at best. Yeah, dumb children.
It's not good. But you know what though, Tim?
Yeah.
They sure do make it enjoyable to cover it while it happens, don't they?
That's true. It gives us plenty to laugh about. It's just sad that these people are the ones out there setting policy for the United States.
Now that is true. But we're here to call them on it, Tim. Yeah. I'll tell you what, we've brought some delicious goodness for the people of Second Legacy. You want to wrap us out?
No, I want to sit and talk about assault weapons and bump stocks.
The subsets?
And how they're not, and the subsets, how they're not really assault weapons. I mean, how silly. I mean, they don't even exist. They're going to fall back to our argument. Like, what is an assault weapon? It's a made up term. I mean, that's coming next, right?
Exactly.
It's coming next. Anyway. All right, folks. Thanks for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.